I want to take this opportunity to really kind of connect some dots for you guys. Take this opportunity to provide information about the violent crimes that are occurring in our community and really illustrate our proactive and aggressive response to these incidents. To provide some perspective, we've had 11 shootings year to date so far in 2022. If you compare that to last year, we had 10, so a slight uptick from where we had last year. And it's important to point out that the violent crimes that we're seeing here, there's oftentimes a relationship involved. The parties are known to each other, and there is a strong nexus to narcotics and drug activity. We're not seeing these random acts of violence, which is good, but we are addressing the violent crimes that we are seeing in front of us. As always, when a shooting or a violent act occurs, these are priority cases for us, and we rapidly reallocate and deploy resources necessary to resolve and respond to the problems. I want to talk a little bit about how we've changed and have a new initiative internally, how we've enhanced our efforts internally to really create a violence disruption task force internally within our organization. Linking up the different units within the Rochester Police Department, again, as that rapid allocation and deployment of resources to violent crimes as they occur in our city. Members of this Violence Disruption Task Force include members from our Patrol Division, our Investigative Division, and our Intel Division. The group initiates and coordinates response, identifying suspects, and then purposely goes and tracks them down, ultimately with the goal of interrupting that cycle of violence in this community. This unified approach has worked very well, in spite of all of the staffing challenges that we have been experiencing in the last couple of years. This proactive and aggressive strategic approach has resulted in 8 arrests and the execution of 3 search warrants and 7 guns seized in just the last couple of weeks alone. So far this year, Rochester Police Department has recovered 23 guns out of this community. Some of these guns seized are the photos in front of you here. These are taking dangerous weapons out of people's hands, these illegal guns out on the street. So let me just break down some of those further recent incidents that we've had and really just kind of connect the dots for you to really emphasize this proactive effort that we are taking. On July 1st, Rochester PD conducted 3 search warrants. The results of those search warrants were 5 parties arrested. We confiscated 7 guns. Those search warrants were a result of the drug-related shooting that took place on 11th Street on May 2nd. Also seized as part of those search warrants were counterfeit money, M30 pills, most likely laced with fentanyl, meth, and marijuana. Another incident on June 24th, we very proactively and aggressively sent our investigative unit to Austin, tracking a suspect following multiple convenience store robberies involving a knife. The suspect was in a vehicle RPD had linked to 2 similar robberies in Rochester, one at Casey's store and one in the Shell gas station on June 16th. We worked collaboratively with the Austin Police Department in these cases. The suspect has subsequently been charged with first-degree robbery and second-degree assault. On June 17th, Rochester PD worked collaboratively, again, sending detectives over to Winona Police Department, working with Winona PD and the Winona Sheriffs to actively track down and arrest a suspect that Rochester PD investigators had identified from a shooting at the Holiday gas station in Rochester on June 15th. In that case, the suspect fired shots from a vehicle at someone walking near the pumps, and the suspect in that case has been charged with second-degree attempted murder, drive-by shooting towards a person, second-degree assault with a dangerous weapon, and felony possession of a firearm. Violent crimes like these are incredibly complex. They require significant collaboration. They're very resource intensive. It requires collaboration with both our internal stakeholders and our external stakeholders, like the county attorney's office, other law enforcement agencies working with community corrections, and others. And this is where the community comes in. Violence within the community affects us all, and violent crime cases also require community collaboration. This organization takes a lot of pride in being a relational policing police department. We value the community's support input and collaboration. And that's where we call you to action. We ask that if you see something suspicious that you report it. We ask that if you see acts of violence on the street that you report it, because together we can make this community safer. We ask for your cooperation when officers respond on scene in dissecting these very complex and chaotic incidents. My bottom line message today is if you commit a violent act in this community, you are our priority. And we are going to very proactively respond to these incidents to make this community safer.